You are looking at the Just Flight BA 146-100 in a stunning AirPac livery from the late 1990s here at Kodiak, Alaska. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone, wherever you are. This is CJ. I'm your classic jet sim pilot, and I put a little pull out to the community not too long ago. And the 146 came in first. You know, originally I was going to do an Air Wisconsin 146 flight, but I recently had the chance to spend some time up in Alaska, and I happened across this really cool little carrier that ran a single 146 out of Anchorage to several destinations, and I thought, let's give it a try. Now, I'll be the first to tell you, as I do every time, I am not a type-rated pilot in the British Aerospace 146. My only experience in the 146 is in the Avro version, the RJs, and that's just in the jump seat. So, although I am a real-world pilot, I do have air carrier experience. I do have transport category aircraft experience, but I do not have any 146 experience. And as excellent as this model is, and if you know Just Flight, excuse me, you know that they put out quality aircraft. I do not have a lot of experience in this airplane, and it's an airplane that I have vowed to get to know very well because it is such an absolutely stunning example of what can be done in Microsoft Flight Simulator. Now, the 146 is, we can talk a little bit about it. It's going to be a quick flight today from Kodiak up to Anchorage, less than an hour. And the 146 was very well suited for this mission. It is known for getting into short airports. It can get in and out of rough fields with its very generously cushioned trailing link landing gear and the wing-mounted engines, 4 Avro Lycoming turbofans. Some joke it's the only airplane around that's got 5 APUs. They are not overly big engines, but the airplane performs pretty well, and I'm just learning it. So I'm bound to make a lot of mistakes. I'm working with a real-world checklist here. We do have the help that Just Flight builds into all its aircraft with the on-screen checklist. But let's see if we can't do without it and just operate off the real-world checklist and see if we can't get us out of Kodiak into Anchorage this afternoon. It's a lot of fun. I've only done a couple of flights in the airplane so far recently. I did fly it when I first purchased the aircraft, but it's been a while. So I'm going to try to talk my way through it. Now, what I have done so far is I have uploaded the sim brief information into the Just Flight's excellent EFB. I have our release in here ready to go. I uploaded the flight plan into the aircraft so it knows to how much fuel I'm gonna need, and so forth. And then I have also got the charts ready to go. We're starting here at Kodiak. The terminal is way down here, and it looks like we're gonna be. I think I'm gonna be departing runway 8. Actually, it's their longest runway, and it's nestled right up against some mountains here off the edge. So arriving on runway 8 is almost impossible in an aircraft of this size, but certainly departing is much more doable because you're departing out over the ocean. But anyway, so let's, and I'm bound to make a few mistakes, but, let's learn this aircraft together. What else do we have on the FB? We've got the checklists. We've got a little top of descent calculator because we do not have VNAV, and we've got the settings. Make sure I have it set the way I want. Looks like it. All right. So let's give it a go. Let's start with the safety checklist. Radar is off. Tilted all the way up. They're all back. The speed brakes are down. Flaps are up. Let's turn on the batteries. Good voltage on 1. Good voltage on 2. Gears down. Brakes are up. Or parking brakes are on and set to the yellow system. I'm going to go ahead and hide the yoke here. Oh. Hide the yoke here. There we go. That's better. Where was I? We got the brakes set there. We can come up here, turn the master switches on for the yaw damp, the AP master, the avionics master. We can also turn on the anti-skid, the lift spoilers, turn on the bus ties, arm the standby inverter, the standby generator, turn on the APU generator since we'll get that going right away, and arm the flight deck. Let's go ahead and start the APU. APU switch is here. Press it. Here comes the RPM. APU starting up. Notice how when the hydraulics are at rest, the speed brake will slowly kind of work its way open. That is what happens in the real thing. At 97%, we should see it come online. Here it comes. There's the low pressure enunciation. And APU power is available. Generators on. We can also go right to the APU air, and we can turn on a pack. And today is an odd day, so we'll turn on the pack number 1. Nav lights. We'll get the no smoking on. We'll arm the emergency lights. Nav lights go to high intensity. And I think we're good. Let me just double check because I think we're good to start boarding. Pre-flight gear pins, emergency gear handles down, radar transponder. Oh, I didn't check that. Let's set it to 2000. Enter. We are gonna also today, first time, we're gonna fly with Say Intentions. I've been flying with Say Intentions for a while. I particularly enjoy it, and I'm also very pleased to be able to show you some of the traffic injection features it's got. So we'll see how that looks on our flight today. We are on standby. Let's put in our flight ID. We are APC AirPac 725 725. All right, we'll leave that in standby for now. Radar and transponder, air brake is in, flaps are up, circuit breakers are checked, batteries are checked and on, standby gear is checked, parking brakes are on, yellow pressure, and it's dropped a little bit, so let's go ahead and power that up with the DC pump. That chart recharges the system. We'll also check the AC pump. We'll check for yellow pressure on the AC pump. Should get about 3,000. It's a 3,000 PSI system. We turn on the power transfer unit, and it works. Hydraulics checked and set. Electrical panel check and set. We wouldn't be getting the green light if it wasn't okay, but it is okay. External, we're using the APU. Fire handles are in. Fire loops are set. Ground ignition is on both. Continuous ignition is off. Engine anti-ice is on. Pressurization. We are going to What did we file for today? Oh, yeah. 29,000 feet, that ain't gonna happen. Let's call it 190. So we set 19,000 here. Actually, we can set it a little higher. So we'll be getting about a 30,000 foot cabin altitude. The discharge valves are normal, and the mode is in auto. We'll also check the annunciator system here. Dimming works. As does the override. Excellent. And we'll pull it back out to the ground mode. So this will silence nuisance warnings while we bring the engines to life. Alright, engine anti-pressurization set and checked. Ice protection heaters are all off. We won't do any ground tests today, but those are off. We've checked the annunciators, glare shield. Okay, so today we are going to, we can use, it does work nicely with the honeycomb, so we'll go up to 19,000. We're going to be departing runway 8. Let's turn it on. Turn on the DME. We'll also go ahead and get our comm radios on. Okay. Let's see. Our course out of here off of runway 8 here at Kodiak is 78 degrees. 78 degrees. Set it on course 2 as well. And by the way, this will be a fun exercise too because you all get to see some radio navigation. Notice I do not have any sort of FMS, no magenta line today. It's a fairly easy flight, and we'll finish setting up the radios here in just a second. 78, 78, and let's set the heading to 78 as well. 60. Here's 71, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Good. And then let's see, where are we? Pressurization, ground test panels, check ground lights and notices are set. Flight deck cabin emergency lights checked and armed. Air conditioning supply is set. Overhead annunciators checked and normal. Glare shields checked and set. Master warning system checked and norm. Flight annunciators checked. Flight instruments set and cross-checked. Center panel has been checked. Oh, TMS. Yeah, let's get this going. Powered on. Let it run through its test cycle. The outside temperature today is... Where's my weather? Right now, we'll call it 12 degrees. So, whoops, that was an interesting stutter. 12 degrees. So we set 12 degrees here, which it already is. 840 degrees is our climb out. We can go to takeoff, and then we will turn it off so it doesn't interfere with our engine start. Thrust levers are all the way back into their fuel off position. See how they're all the way back. It's a combination fuel, engine master, and throttle. Bring it up. Oh, you know what I didn't do? I forgot to configure my stuff. All right. and it's important in this plane because there's a lot going on. It is a pretty systems intense airplane, but at the same time, it's not quite as tricky as like the 7.2 can be if you're wanting to run all three positions. Sorry about this, but let's get it loaded up. There we go. And that's it. Apply and save. Go back. Resume. Okay. So, yeah, you want to make sure. You also want to make sure your SPAD is going. I use SPAD a lot, so I have a lot of stuff configured in SPAD. Waiting for it to boot up here. That's not. Okay. Now let's see. Excellent. And I'm gonna have to adjust that after the flight. It's back just a little bit, just enough. Okay, so as I was saying, the thrust levers are combination fuel on and off. Right, so you'll see that more when we're getting ready to start up. The annunciators are set. Flight instruments set and checked. The center panel is checked. TMS is set. Thrust levers config is checked. Fuel off. Here's the config warning. Back to fuel off. Control disconnects and trims are set. And there's aileron trim there, rudder trim's in the middle, and rudder trim is neutral. Yaw dampers we can bring into the on position. Autopilot's off. Avionics are all on. Comm radios are on. Nav radio's on. DME is on. And we'll set those in just a second. CVR is over here. I'm not going to set it for now. Baro set. Let's do the magic baro. Ref key 3004. There we are, just right at sea level. And a passenger oxygen valve again over here. We won't touch them. And the masks are checked and set. All right, let's get the boarding going. We'll go back here to the aircraft. Let's start refueling. Tell you what, let's just go instant. Bam. Passengers, start boarding. Bam. We'll do the same thing. Boarding is complete. You can hear them milling about back there. Let's go ahead and close the door. There's a lot of really cool effects Just Flight includes on their aircraft. A lot of cool sounds. There's some flight attendant interaction. You'll see that all in just a second. All right. Let me just do a mental note. We've got the AP running. Let me just run down the panel real quick. We're in both. We've got the masters on. We've got the anti-skid and lift spoilers on. We've got the hydraulics configured, ready to go. We don't need that on yet. We've got our fuel panel set. The left inner pump should be on for the APU, although it does suction feed just fine. It's more for redundancy's sake. APU's on. We've got our electrical panel set. We've got the generators off except for the APU generator. I can turn on the galley. We've got our lights, wipers set. We can go ahead and turn the fasten seatbelt sign on now. APU is running. The starting we'll worry about when it's time. We've got that. Whoops, we've got the anti-switches on now. Those that actually are on for start, no matter the condition. It has something to do with allowing for better airflow for the engines during the start process. And we'll go ahead and turn the beacon on since we're about ready to start. Air conditioning is set the way I want it. Let's turn the... let's go ahead and do the before start checklist since we all are boarded. Mobile phones are off. Safety and external checks are done. Briefing's complete. Parking brake is actually, you know what we need to do? We need to do the brief, and I forgot we're doing say intentions. So we need 134.45. Let's get the ATIS. $34.45.
Aero 4. Density altitude minus 300 feet. Arriving and departing runways 26, 29er, 19er. Advise on initial contact you have information uniform. Kodiak Airport, information uniform. 1853 Zulu. Wind 09er 5 at 4. Visibility 10. Sky conditions, scattered at 4300 feet. Temperature 12. Dew point 10. Altimeter 3004. Density altitude minus 300 feet. Arriving and departing runways 26, 29er, 19er. Advise on initial contact you have information uniform.
Alright, so we've
Kodiak
got uniform.
Airport,
They're actually going the other
information
direction.
Uniform. 1853 Zulu.
Let's go to ground.
Wind 09er 5 at
Ground
4.
is 121.9.
Visibility 10. Sky condition.
So we'll get that tuned in here. And we do not have a let's look at the charts. Yeah, we have ground, tower, we've got the ATIS, which we just had, and we have no separate clearance. So ground is where we'll get our clearance. And let's see if we can raise up ground. Uniform. Ground AirPac 725 with uniform. Clearance to Anchorage. Did I not switch the frequency? 121.9. Did I not switch it? Let's try it again. Ground AirPac 725 uniform, clearance to Anchorage.
I'll have your clearance in just a second.
All right. Guess I didn't need the beacon on quite so early.
Alaska Pacific 725, Kodiak ground cleared to Anchorage. Radar vectors Kodiak, then as filed. Climb and maintain 8000. Expect flight level 29010 minutes after departure. Departure on 125.1 squawk 2657. And I know it's not what you filed, but you can expect runway 19er.
All right, cleared to Anchorage. Radar vectors Kodiak, then as filed 8000, 290, and 10. Departure will be 125.1, squawk 2657, and we will expect runway 19er for AirPac 725.
Read back correct.
All right, squawk 2657. We'll just go to transponder on that. And Kodiak. All right, now they want us to go to 19. It's a 5,000-foot runway. Technically, that should work.
Boarding has started, and the first passengers are aboard the plane.
So,
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard AirPac Inc. Flight 725.
if I look at my release, let's see.
We kindly ask you to take your seats according to your boarding
OFP.
passes and stow your hand luggage in the overhead bins or under the seats in front of you. If you need any assistance, please don't hesitate to reach out to any of our crew members. Thank you for choosing AirPac, and we hope you have a pleasant flight.
Yeah, Bitoga Max bleeds on. flap 18, 16, 16, 28. So we'll go toga. So we'll go max continuous. Oh, we'll leave it off. We got to remember that though. We're not gonna reduce. And we'll plan on 1.9. All right. So
Kodiak ground, Douglas, November 28668.
let's go ahead and do the before start check. Let's mobile phones are off. Safety checks are done. Crew briefing's done. Parking brakes are on. Pressure is checked again if we need to. See, it's a little bit below 2,500. If we turn the DC pump on, it's running off the battery. It'll recharge it. And we can turn it back off. All right. Parking brakes is set. Fuel panel is checked and set. One thing they do, which I'm not a big fan of, is the fuel is actually listed in kilograms instead of pounds. But we'll deal with it. Fuel quantity select. FDR is set. IRS we don't have. Load data is checked. Nav radios, MSP or MCP are set. So let's go ahead and do that. 8,000. We'll ask for 170, 190 for our final. But there, Kodiak is 117.1. We'll dial that in. 17.1. Our outbound course on the airway is 005. So let's actually get that set up here. So after departure, we'll get a vector back towards Kodiak and on the airway. So that'll work. We're gonna plan on runway 15. Well, we'll see what they give us, and then we'll plan accordingly. So Kodiak is 117. Or I'm sorry, 117.1. We'll go ahead and do that here too. Actually, I'll tell you what. Let's put Anchorage on that 13.15. 13.15 on nav 2, and then Kodiak does have an NDB. So let's go ahead and put that in you never know. And it's called Woody Island 394. We'll put that in on 394. 394 ADF. And that way, if we need it, we'll have it. Okay, so nav radio set up. We don't have. We don't have the autopilot on yet, or power running yet. So we'll wait on that. 5 is our airway course, and 8,000 feet. All right, so nav radios and MCP are set. Flight instruments are checked. GNS we don't have. TMS is set and checked for now. We've run it through everything. Speed bugs. We're going to be 18 degrees. So it sets our speed bugs. It also sets our N1 bugs. And it sets our target, our turbine gas temperature gauge, which is like EGT on other jets. All right, cockpit door is closed. Parking brake is set. Seatbelt sign is on. Beacon is now coming on. Ground inhibit has been reset. And doors and windows are closed. Hydraulics are off. Fuel pumps are coming on. Engine anti-ice is still on. PACs and APU air. We'll turn off the PACs. We'll leave the air on. And start panel. So we'll turn the start master on, You start with number 4, and we'll turn number 4. Select 4 on the starter, hit the engine start switch. Monitor N2 at 10% N2. We'll bring the power lever up out of and start the fuel. There's 10%. Hits up. N1. Somewhere around to 20% N2, we should get light off. There's light off. Watching the TGT gauge for a hot start. Watching N1 for a hung start. Got 4 engines on this bad boy, so it takes a minute to get things going. Although these engines do start fairly quickly.
Hey, Kodiak ground, good morning. Cessna 50 Romeo Kilo will be VFR.
Looks like a good start.
Alpha Kilo Hotel.
We'll switch it to 3.
Request flight following.
Engine A and B on, starters operating. Watching N2, 10%. We'll bring that power lever up. There's 10% N2. Bring it up into the run position.
8 Romeo Kilo. Read that correct.
Continuing to accelerate.
50 Romeo Kilo at the ramp, ready to taxi with information Kilo.
We got good N1 acceleration. There's light off. Ready to bring it back to fuel cutoff if we got a hot start. Or if we get a hung start. And the reason why you want to cancel the start quickly if you see a hung start and acceleration bogs down is because you need air running through that engine to keep it cool. So if you get a hung start, you risk getting a hot start following closely behind. All right, looks like a good start. Let's go to start number 2, turning 2. Again, watching N2 at 10%. There it is. Fuel is on. There's fuel flow. There's light off. Good acceleration. Alright, 2 has started. Turning 1. Looking for that 10% N2. There we go. Fuel lever's up. About 20%, we should see fuel flow. There it is. Looking for light off. There's light off. Watching the acceleration. Also sneaking a peek at oil pressure.
Beechcraft November X-ray Delta 1. Kodiak ground, clear to Tom Madsen, Dutch Harbor. Radar vectors ODK, then as filed. Climb and maintain 4,000. Expect flight level 260.
Good acceleration.
Minutes after departure.
Oil pressure's coming up.
132.65. Squawk 3442.
Clear to Alaska. Radar vectors to ODK, then as filed. Climb maintain 4,000 feet.
Alright, 4 good starts.
10 minutes after departure.
We can bring the selector switch to off. Turn that off. We can bring the APU air, or the PACs. Bring both of them on. We can turn off the engine anti-ice now that we're started. We can bring the generators online. We can turn off the APU generator. We can turn on the auto center tank transfer. And And oh, actually, my bad. We do not turn off the APU gen. We leave it there to support it. We leave the APU running up until we're in the air. Start panel's off. The continuous ignition is off. Anti-ice is off. Oh, we can bring the heat up. Oh, and I forgot. We need to turn on the ice detection. And I think engine air remains off for now. Flight directors come on. Okie doke. After start checklist, start panel is normal and off. Engine anti-ice is off. Heaters are on. Generators are on. Gen 1 and Gen 4. Oh, hydraulic pumps. I knew I forgot something. So the hydraulic pumps are on engine 2 and engine 3. The generators are on 1 and 4. Hydraulics are after start. Heaters, generators are on. Hydraulics are on and checked. Brake fans are in auto. Yep, need to put that on auto. This is why we run checklists, folks. Air supply and packs are set. TMS TRP is on and set. Master warnings, CWP. We've got everything running, so we can now turn it in, put it in. We've got the parking brake on, flight recorder off, and brake fans. I had it in auto, don't I? Yeah, I'm in auto. Okay, good. And checks ground equipment. Get the chocks away. We'll press this. This will set our trim. And area is clear. All right. I think we are ready to go.
Kodiak ground, JetBlue 730, requesting IFR directions to Seattle.
All right, tower will be
Clear to Seattle. Radar vectors
19.8.
Dennis filed. Climb maintain 4000, expecting 37010 minutes after departure. Departures on 132.65, squawking 3576 for runway 26 from JetBlue 730.
So we've got that ready to go, and Anchorage Center will be 25-1, which was our departure. Okay, we'll go to TARA, and there we go. Now we're armed there, and we'll get ready. We'll go to heading mode as soon as we're given a heading. All right, cool. I'm going to hold the brakes, release the parking brake, turn on the taxi light. Oh, wait, we'll call ground. Ground Transpac, or AirPac 725, request taxi.
Cabin is ready for departure.
All aircraft information vector is now current. Altimeter 3005. Alaska Pacific 725, taxi to runway 19 via Foxtrot, cross runway 8, then Delta Charlie, cross runway 29, then cross runway 26 at your discretion.
We are delighted to have you with us today.
AirPac 725, taxi to runway 19 via Foxtrot, cross runway 8, Bravo Charlie, cross 29, cross 26 for AirPac 725.
Information. First, please ensure your seatbelt is fastened low and tight across your lap.
We started to roll.
Unfasten your seatbelt, simply lift the buckle. In the event of a loss of cabin pressure, oxygen masks will drop down from the panel closed.
That is why you typically don't want to come off the parking brake until you're ready to go. All right.
And secure it with the elastic
Let's go.
and others. For water landings, life vests are located under your seat. To use the life vest,
Foxtrot,
pull it out, slip it over
cross
your
runway
head,
8,
and pull the straps tight.
Bravo Charlie.
Inflate the vest by pulling the red tabs or by blowing into the tubes. This aircraft, the BAE 146, has 4 emergency exits, 2 at the front.
Well, Bravo Charlie.
In the event of an emergency,
I think they mean
please follow
Delta
the
Charlie,
exit
frankly.
signs to reach the nearest exit. We will be coming around shortly with refreshments, and after that, we'll have some items available for purchase from the AirPac shop. Thank you for your attention, and we hope you
Kodiak
enjoy your
ground.
flight.
Dahabalit, November 321 Juliet Foxtrot, request taxi to the active. Kodiak ground, request clearance to taxi to the active.
De Havilland 1 Juliet Foxtrot on departure, maintain VFR at or below 1500 feet. Departure on 125.1 squawk 4747.
There's this weird hill here. This is a freeware Kodiak. Where? There it is. And there's it's decent, but there's some terrain issues over here. So you got to power up and down some hills to make your way to the right runway. All right, we'll hang a left on Delta here. Go down the hill. Apply some brakes so we don't get going too fast. We'll make the turn. And we'll head over to runway 19. Delta Charlie cross 26. Cross 29. Yeah, we're gonna have to do some goofy taxiing here. All right, before takeoff checklist. Put our flaps out. Config for takeoff. Got no horn. IRS, we don't have masters or whoop, wrong checklist. Before takeoff, brakes are checked. Good pressure. Flight instruments are checked. Flaps are at 18. Trims are set and checked. Seats and harnesses. Flight controls. We'll do it here in just a second. Flight controls are checked. This is why you need 2 pilots too. Flight controls are checked. Conflict is checked. Continuous ignition.
Information, go back.
A and B.
1 second while I grab the paperwork.
The Seattle radar vector Kodiak.
Turn on.
8,000. Flight level 370.
ATC clearance we've got.
Departure on 125.1.
And we are to the line.
Talking 4625. Expecting runway 26. FedEx 525.
Let's go ahead and tell the flight attendants we're... That's me telling them to take the seats. We're going to back taxi runway 19 here. You can hear the door open and then close. That's the flight attendant sliding that over to let us know the cabin is secure. Here's runway 19. We will back taxi. Now this is a little irregular. Say intentions. You know, the AI doesn't like back taxiing runways very much, normally we would have been switched to tower, asked to back taxi. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down here, start the turnaround, and then let them know we're ready. Little line. The PA's been made. Transponder is TARA. Radar terrain is set. We can bring the tilt down. I don't expect we'll need the radar. It's a nice day. It's there if we need it. We do have a little turnaround area here. This is an overrun. We can taxi on it, but it is not for takeoff. So we'll turn it around. We'll switch to 119.8. Tell you what, we'll hold right here just for a second. 119.8, 121.5 is Anchorage Center. Okay, let's talk about departure because it gets busy. Okay, we are climbing up to 8,000 feet. We're going to take off. We are in full takeoff mode. We'll hold the brakes, get all the engines up to takeoff power, and then go. At our speeds are 118 for V1 and rotate, 129 for V2, which is right here. We'll hold V2 plus 10. We'll take off. We'll probably get a turnout to the, I would imagine, to the left, back towards Kodiak, and then the VOR at about at 1,500 feet. So at about 1,500 feet, I'll bring the nose down. We'll bring the power back to 88%, and you bump it up 1% every 5,000 feet. So 88, 89, 90, and so on. But we'll use temp limiting. We'll let the airplane, we'll keep an eye on the temps. We'll let the airplane accelerate to 210 knots. We'll bring the flaps up. We'll hold 210 knots until 10,000 feet. Then we'll accelerate to 250 knots and let the plane finish the climb. At that first reduction, we'll also come back to sync and then bring the power back manually. All right. It's going to be busy. I'm going to mess it up. Guarantee it. Let's go to tower. We're there. Tower AirPac 725 ready for departure 19.
Alaska Pacific 725 Kodiak Tower, runway 19er, wind 075 at 7. Fly runway heading cleared for takeoff.
Runway 19, runway heading cleared for takeoff. AirPac 725. All right. Lights go on. Goes turning. Everything is on. Are we below the line? Radar, lights, MCP is set. TMS is on takeoff. MWS is checked. Air supply is set. We got the packs on, running off of the APU. Okay. Here we go. Here goes nothing. Hold on to your hats. All right, there's about 50%. Engines are stable.
TMS set to takeoff.
Kodiak Tower, take range November 239 Alpha Zulu Romeo.
93.7.
Holding on runway 9 ready for departure. Today's destination
Holding the brakes.
is Papa Alpha Papa.
Whoop, overshot a little bit.
Negro. Climbing.
The TMS systems, bringing it back. There we go.
No flight following required today.
Nose wheel steering until 80 knots. No rudder. Rudder's not going to be effective.
Speed alive, both sides. 80 knots.
80 knots. Rudder's now becoming effective.
V1.
Rotate.
V2. Positive rate of climb.
Positive rate. You're up. Right on up to the 15 degrees or so. Staying close to that V2 plus 10. I'm going to go ahead and drop the nose, accelerate a little bit. We are runway heading.
725, contact departure.
over to departure, AirPac 725. Anchorage Center, AirPac 725, 1500, climbing to 8,000, runway heading.
Alaska Pacific 725, Anchorage Center, radar contact. Climb and maintain flight level 230, turn left heading 035, vectors to Kodiak, then on navigation.
035, on the heading, radar vectors Kodiak, and then up to flight level 230 for AirPac 725. %. Heading mode.
VFTO. Marines ahead. Select flaps.
There's VFTO. Flaps up. Vertical speed. On the flight director. Center Transpac 725, requesting 17,000 for final altitude.
Alaska Pacific 725, descend and maintain 17,000.
17,000 Transpac, or AirPac 725. Alright, 17,000. Shoo, there's a lot going on there. Alright. No rush to get that in. That'll be there waiting for us when we're ready to go. Fly the airplane. Getting a little fast. And deloc. Of course. Here we go. And autopilot. A little faster than I want to be, but it'll work. Alright. We can also turn on the engine here. Turn off the APU air. Turn off the APU gen. And we can stop the APU. %. Alright, engines are still in sync mode, we're good. Alright, we're getting real close to the VOR.
Alaska Pacific 725, climb and maintain flight level 240.
Climb and maintain flight level 240, AirPac 725. We're going to make 17,000 our final altitude, so... Anchorage Center, AirPac 725. We would like to make 17,000 our final altitude, please.
Alaska Pacific 725, descend and maintain 17,000.
17,000, AirPac 725. I need to change the call sign and say intentions. All right. Let's do a quick after takeoff checklist. Landing gear is up. Lights are out. Sorry about that. Flaps are up. TMS is set to sync. Engine air impacts are on. APU air is off. Pressurization is checked. Got a good multi-rudder climb. Through 10,000 feet. Lights are off. And looks like we're above the clouds, so I'm going to let the flight attendants loose. And let's go ahead and go to vertical speed. Let's bring it down a little bit. Let's speed up to 250 knots. to IS mode. I am not using the sync mode, and the sync mode is the way to go in this airplane. I need to bind a button to it. Go back to deload mode. Come on. Alright, this is working out nicely. The reason sync mode is nice is because you can have it, for instance, in IAS mode, press the sync button, use the yoke to fly the airplane to the speed you want, release the sync button, it'll go right back into IAS mode at the new speed. Same thing with vertical speed, too. It's a pretty nice system. It's kind of like control wheel steering in some aircraft.
Alaska Pacific 725, climb and maintain flight level 290.
It's going to keep trying to do that. AirPac 725, we'd like to make 17,000 our cruise altitude, please. Alright, we're back to IS mode now, 250 knots.
Alaska Pacific 725, descend and maintain 17,000.
17,000, AirPac 725. Go. I'm just adjusting the power slightly. We want to be about 90%. She's climbing out pretty good. That was Mrs. CJ calling me. I gotta send her a message. Okay, we are tracking outbound on the airway 005. Let's see if number 2 VOR open. Number 2 is 113.15, which should be Ted. It is.
Climb and maintain 10,000. Climb and maintain 10,000. Thank you very much. Anchorage Center.
I just blew through it.
I know I
there we go.
For 10,000, but can I have that?
When I changed the modes, I needed to reset the altitude mode.
Request 8,000 feet.
So now the airplane is correcting. I just floated everybody in the back of the airplane. Now, again, no auto throttle, so you want to watch your speed.
Alaska Pacific 725, climb and maintain flight level 290.
AirPac 725, like to make 17,000 our cruise altitude, please. I should have changed that.
Alaska Pacific 725, descend and maintain 17,000.
Maintain 17,000, AirPac 725. Power back, start at 80%. I like to bring the bug up to about there. Wait, we can watch the fast slow indicator. Cruise checklist. Altimeters are set. AC pump and PTU are off. Pressurization is checked. Seatbelt sign. Turn off for the short flight up to Anchorage.
Alaska Pacific 725, expect the AMOT-4 arrival. Expect to descend in about 20 minutes. Just say the word if you'd like to start down earlier.
I did not file that. Let's check out the arrival, see if I can even take it. Oh yeah, I can take it. Except it's not on my route. So, let's go to Homer, 14.6. 14, let's go ahead and first. 14.6. 176 radial. So let's set our course. To right.
FedEx 525, climb and maintain flight level 370.
Hello.
Flight level 370, FedEx 525.
Anchorage clearance, Piper, November 6244 Papa, IFR, Cold Bay, ready to copy.
I'll grab that clearance. Give me just a minute.
Okay. This will work. It is a star we can fly. Charts. Arrival. Remote 4. Let's look at it. So here we are. We were on J125. We are now tracking direct to Homer on the 176 radial. Homer will depart 347 degree radial up to Amat, and then we'll get radar vectors. Anchorage ATIS 135 and a half. We'll set that on the nav on the COM2 radio. 135 and a half. Hotel. We have got hotel. We are tracking inbound nicely.
Center November 89er, Sir Juliet. Request IFR
3001. Make that adjustment now.
And Alaska Airport at file. Destination is in Alaska, Papa Alpha Delta Uniform.
I'm working on that clearance. Stand by.
All right. So, in case you didn't know much about the British Aerospace 146, I believe it was created originally because it perfectly suited London City Airport. Right? They needed a quiet airplane that could handle the steep approach requirements going into London City. And so that was a main function of this airplane from the beginning. But it's still in use today. There are quite a few. Some. There's some operating in South America. I know there's an airline that operates in sort of southern Argentina and uses it. I think there's several in Alaska still, and there's a couple in Canada still working. Plus, there's some firefighting versions. I let us get a little slow here. There are firefighting versions out there, so it's a plane that's still sort of in use. Here in this country, there were several carriers that used it for quite a while. I mean, AirPac was just a very, they only had one. that they leased directly from BAE at the time, and BAE ended up having to repossess it. Masaba, which was a Northwest Airlines carrier, they were big users of the British Aerospace 146 in the form of the RJ, the more modern Avro RJ. American actually had them for a very short time in their mainline flying. I think it was when they took over PSA, perhaps. I can't remember if it was PSA or AirCal, but PSA. Anyway, yeah, there were several. Business Express used them as an American Eagle carrier. PSA, AirCal. And of course, Air Wisconsin used them, the true BAE 146 as United Express for quite a while. So, yeah, had a nice little run. It sort of replaced the Fokker F-28. So it's kind of interesting that Just Flight did the F-28 and then did the BAE 146, because the 146, a lot of a documentary I saw recently gave credit to the 146 for kind of killing the Fokker F-28. But it's a neat airplane. Coming up on Homer, Alaska, straight ahead. Uses servo tabs. So on the elevator, when you move the elevator, the control column, just the servo tab moves. When you turn the yoke, just the servo tab moves, and then that moves the whole flight, the whole control surface. Back in the cabin. This is an interesting seat. It's just two back here. Yeah, otherwise it is 3x3. Nice look out at those Lycoming turbojets. Pretty cool. Yeah, I'm enjoying flying this airplane. Now, I don't know if it's my control settings. Again, I need to get more time with the airplane. But I encountered, it can't be a bug because this airplane's been out too long to have a bug like this, but I did encounter a situation whereby I have to be very careful in the flare because the plane will pitch up, and I don't know if it's the tail end of my control column, the response curve in the sim. It's got to be that. It's got to be it. So I'm going to try to trim up as I'm landing and not get to that part of the curve. We'll see what happens. All right, we're 40 miles from Homer. Homer, and then the 347 radio.
Going into flight level 70, passenger plus over. 525 Whiskey Tango, Anchorage Center, roger.
Right now there are let's see. So, like I said, I was just checking out the Say Intentions. So, Say Intentions, I think, has done just a marvelous job in this AI traffic space. I like Beyond ATC too. I actually, in the beginning, I used both, and I pay for Say Intentions. It is not so when I say I like them, I'm not. It's not because they gave me a free copy or anything. It is my AI traffic of choice. they're always they have done the most in the shortest amount of time. Right, the traffic injection just recently began. I don't know if you saw it, but there were a couple of pieces of traffic at Kodiak. There was a 737 on the ramp in front of me, and I expect as we get to Anchorage, we'll see some aircraft. It uses true AI to analyze what you say and to provide instructions. Beyond ATC is good, but the only problem with it is if you venture from what it's expecting you to do or what's in it doesn't process that information the same way. And it has trouble improvising, if you know what I mean. Whereas, say intentions, because it uses a true AI model, it deals much better with improvisational stuff, right? You can ask it questions. Really interact with it, kind of like real ATC. I'm going to bring the power back just a little bit. There we go. Let it catch up. The TMS system will sync everything up to N1, to the number 1 engine. You can pick it. You can pick which one you want it to slave to over here. And I have it N1 and engine 1. The downside to Say Intentions AI is some would say there can be a little bit of a delay when it's processing things. You may notice a 2 or 3 second delay after I send a command, so when it processes it. The nice thing is that the heavy lifting of that processing does not take place on my computer, so it doesn't really hurt performance. It takes place at Say Intentions. They have some really big servers. I heard Brian, the founder and the chief bottle washer at Say Intentions discussed it at FS Expo recently, how expensive those servers are and how that's why they did it, to take the load off of our PC and place it with them. And I've just been really impressed with how often they update, how the updates come, and just it's been a constant march forward with them. So anyway, again, nothing against Beyond ATC. It's a fine program. I used it for a while and enjoyed it. This is just my personal choice. So I've got no stake in the game. I don't even have a referral code or anything like that. So just put it out there for you to use, but listen to it as I interact with it. Make your own choice. Whichever one brings you the most joy is the one you should use. All right, we're coming up on Homer pretty fast here. When we get within about 5 miles or so, I'll switch it to the outbound course, go to heading mode, switch it to the outbound course I'm going to want, and we'll intercept it and go from there. I've recently got a chance to spend some time in Alaska. It is just absolutely breathtaking.
Raven 762 is checking in, heading 165, level at 4,000.
There's Homer's Airport.
Raven 762, Anchorage approach. Good afternoon. Kodiak altimeter 29.901.
2991, 762.
Kodiak 8 Sierra Bravo. Contact Kenai Tower on 121.3.
When we're ready to start down, we'll adjust the pressurization. You adjust it so that the cabin altitude will work its way down to the airport elevation, which is right about sea level for Anchorage. 150 feet. So there's 1,000 feet, 500 feet, So we'll put the needle right about there, and that will start the cabin descending. And we'll cue the speed bugs for landing, and get the seatbelt sign on. Yes. I don't know what they want. I don't think I have a way to answer them. But notice how it's ready for my next announcement, which is to take seats for landing. Oh, there's our crossing. Go to heading mode. 347. Yep. Five, 6, 7. Heading loaded back. Now we're shut out a little bit. And as we work our way back, we'll re-engage VLOC mode. Now we are going to need to cross Air, which is 30. Oh, it's off the Kenai VOR, so we'll set that up in number 2. Kenai is 17.6. And we'll IREAR is the 220 radio. So we'll set this course the opposite of 220, 32, 20, 40 degrees. So we'll set it to 40. And we're going to do load mode. Since we're back on the airway. When we get closer to, we can watch the RMI, which will tell us how far away we are. All right, so we've got 15 miles off of Homer is ACT intersection. Let's look at the chart as I talk. I'm looking at my other chart here. So 15 miles is ACT. IREAR, which is what I was just talking about, is off the 220-degree radial off of Kenai. So we'll keep our eye on that. It's about 35 miles past this, so 15 and 35, 15, 35, 45, 50, so 50.8. And then we'll head to Amman, which will stay on this radial, and we'll use the Anchorage VOR to identify Amman. And we'll start down. So we need to be at IREAR below 16.2. That's right below us, so we don't even really have to start down until we're much closer. Remember, 3 miles per 1,000 feet. So if I wanted to cross at IREAR at 9,000, that's 8,000 feet, 24 miles. So instead of 50 miles, subtract 50, yeah. It's subtract 24, so about 25 miles. So if we wanted to hit it at the very end, we would start down there. About 25 miles. But we don't need to be that low this far out. So we'll let ATC know. If we start getting to the 40-mile range and we're not starting down, we'll give ATC a call.
Alright. Let's make sure that speed brake is still stowed. It is. Alright, we're going to be landing at... let's see, we took off... What was our weight? Takeoff weight was 77.5. And our landing weight's going to be about 73.6. Land at full flaps. Now, this chart will update as you go. So it should come down as I come down in weight. Click it when we're ready to start down, but we'll land with full flaps, 33 degrees, which right now gives us a ref of about 116. Add 5 to that, make it 121. And notice how it sets the bug there for 121. Ref plus 5. Anchorage Center, AirPac 725. We'd like to start at descent, please.
Alaska Pacific 725, descend via MOT 4 into Anchorage.
Descend via MOT 4 for AirPac 725. All right, let's go ahead and descend to 9,000 feet, since that's the lowest we can go on this segment.
Alaska Pacific 725. Say again. I didn't understand your request.
We will descend via the MOT arrival for AirPac 725. We'll go to vertical speed mode.
Alaska Pacific 725, roger, continuous files via the AMOT 4 arrival.
Power comes back to idle. And we'll descend to about 2,000 feet a minute. Descend at about 250 knots.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have now left our started our approach to Anchorage. We kindly ask everyone to return to your seats.
Get our seatbelts on. Descent checklist briefing is complete. Pressurization is set. Let me double check that. I get it. I'm in a hurry here. 200 feet. That's good.
Alaska Pacific 725, contact Anchorage approach on 126.4.
26.4 for AirPac 725. All right, and we have hotel. Anchorage approach, AirPac 725, descending through 15,000 on the aeronaut arrival. We have hotel.
Alaska Pacific 725, Anchorage approach. Good afternoon, Anchorage altimeter 30.00. Expect the RNAV runway 33 approach into Anchorage.
Unable RNAV runway tree. Request ILS runway 25 right.
Alaska Pacific 725, cleared for ILS approach runway 25 right.
All right, we'll expect the ILS runway 25 right, AirPac 725. Well, I didn't mean he had to clear me for it. ILS 25 right. Charts. Approach. ILS 25 right.
Oh, E. Can't take it.
Anchorage.
Yeah, there is no 25 right.
Anchorage approach, Skylane 3452 Romeo. Skylane 52 Romeo, Anchorage approach, go ahead.
Yeah, I'll need to descend to 2,300 to get out of the clouds there.
Let's see if we can get 1-5. Approach AirPac 725. I'd like to request the ILS runway 15.
Alaska Pacific 725, unable to accommodate ILS runway 15. Available runways are 25 left, 33, and 25 right. Please choose one of the available runways.
For AirPac 725, request the highway visual, then runway 25 right.
Alaska Pacific 725, cleared for the highway visual approach, runway 25 right.
Cleared for the highway visual, runway 25 right, AirPac 725. Alright, not exactly what I wanted, but we'll take it. Landing lights coming on through 10,000 feet. Let's have the flight attendants take a seat. $9,000 to go.
Captain, cabin is ready. Ladies and gentlemen, we are now on our final approach to Takeoff. At this time, we kindly ask you to turn off all electronic
We are past Kenai and Amat 113.15. We're at 9,000 feet. Let's start our ascent to 3. Vertical speed mode. Start down. About 1,000 feet a minute. Heading mode. We are on heading mode 1315. And 49 degrees will be our course. VOR loc that in. Charts. We're coming in this way, so once we get to this island, we'll make the right turn towards the right-hand side of the shoreline. We're going to have to improvise this a little bit because it relies on radar. Radar is required. 2,000 feet, altitude armed. Double check that more often. All right. We're in sync. That's good. So about 120 will be our ref speed. faster. Still 40 miles away.
Tidy Flight 12, Anchorage approach, radar contact, cleared direct ENA. Climb and maintain flight level 210. Tidy 12, contact Anchorage Center on 133.7.
Slow our rate of descent down a little bit. I'm just sort of thinking this through here. I'm still quite a ways out. (3,000 feet is the MSA, or minimum altitude for this segment on the approach. And it's also the altitude we want to be at right in here, just inside, on our way towards Clam. And when I get to this island, I'll make a right turn and into the left downwind. There's the island. Okay. How you doing? Our descent checklist is complete. Let's go ahead and do the approach checklist. Fuel panel set, lights are on. AC pump. Go to auto and on, just in case we have a failure. APU, we can turn on. Let's start it. We've got RPM. And we've got TGT increase. Altimeter 3001, set and cross-check through 4100 now. Cockpit doors locked, and before landing PA has been completed. That's our approach checklist.
Requesting takeoff clearance, runway 07.
Bravo Romeo uniform unable to provide takeoff clearance. Contact tower on 118.3.
That way the engines can develop as much power as possible. Leveling at 3. Miles out. We're pretty low. It gives you an understanding of why VNAV in modern airplanes helps make save a lot of fuel, right? without VNAV, at least I tend to descend a little bit more aggressively, a little earlier. Especially in an airplane like this, it's got a relatively high workload. And I'm still learning it. I got a lot to learn. So I hope this hasn't been too chaotic for you. I hope you've enjoyed it. We'll keep it going. They are on. Seatbelt sign is on. Lights are on. Oh, turn on the light one out. All the other lights are on. Alright. There's Bear Island. And there's the airport. Tower.
Alaska Air 22, checking in with you. 3,000 for 7,000.
Alaska Air 22, Anchorage departure radar contact.
Tower is 18.3.
Flight level 080.
Ready to go here.
Vectors to Donald.
And ground will be 121.9.
Flight maintain, flight level 80, flight heading 0.
Set that up as a reminder.
Vectors to Denell. Alaska Air 22. Departure Alaska Air 22, level 8,000.
And we are going to, I think, Charlie 9. Yeah, we're going to Charlie 9. 25. What am I doing? Visual 25 left? Yeah, in real life they're using 1.5 today, so that's why I had that in my head. But St. Intentions is doing something a little different. That's okay. Adapt and overcome. Alright. Airport is in sight. Approach AirPac 725. The airport's in sight.
Alaska Pacific 725, cleared for the visual approach, runway 25 right.
Cleared visual approach 25 right for AirPac 725. Alright, 25 right. I'll take it. A little bit shorter taxi. 25 right.
Go down to 1500. Vertical speed. Let's go down. Go heading mode. We'll turn the downwind. Heading. Down. Altitude high.
25. What's the inbound course? For runway 25 is 254. Oop, no. That's the course. 254. I don't have an ILS to back it up with.
Right. Hard, clear for ILS, approach 15, FedEx 15. 118.3, FedEx 14.
FedEx 21 heavy contact Anchorage Tower on 118.3.
Slowing up. We're on the left downwind, 25 right. 10,600 foot long. How's it go? I'll widen out a little bit. By the way, this is what Anchorage looks like. It was a little snowier when we were there. It was in May. Alright, I'm gonna come off autopilot.
Autopilot disconnected.
Turn on flight directors. It's hand flat. Slow it up. Get slowed down to about 160. That's my base leg. Keep it coming, keep it slowing.
Speed checked below 205. Select flaps 18. Speed check below 205. Select gear down. Speed checked below 180. Select flaps 24. Speed checked below 117. Select flaps 30.
Right.
Alaskan Pacific 725, contact Anchorage Tower on 118.3.
Over to Tower 18.3. Tower, good afternoon, AirPac 725, final 25 right. That's 30.
Alaska Pacific 725, Anchorage Tower, wind 315 at 7, runway 25 right, clear to land.
Clear to land, 25 right, AirPac 725. Okay. Landing checklist. Landing gears down, 3 green. Flaps, 33. Brakes, good. A little low.
Minimums.
Airframe anti-ice is off, air supply is checked. Wide over wide. Whoa, some bumps. Good on speed. Got a lot of runway here. Speed brake out.
40. 30. 20. 10.
Oh, why'd we freeze?
Yellow, green spoilers.
That was a bad stutter. Alright, we got no reversers and we have no auto brakes, so we're just letting the lift dumpers and
brake pressure C.
Using manual braking.
60 knots.
We'll turn right up here on Echo.
Alaska Pacific 725, welcome to Anchorage. Contact ground on 121.9er.
Over to ground, 121.9, AirPac 725.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Anchorage. We have just landed at Ted Stevens Anchorage International
It's clear.
Airport. The
Look at that
local
traffic.
time is 1:13
Love
p.m.
it.
Thank you for flying.
Look at the traffic.
Flight 725. Did you
It
know
really
that
makes,
Anchorage is
I don't know,
one of the
just makes everything
largest
come alive.
airports in the
Okay,
United States?
we're going to want to taxi straight ahead. So let's stop here. Parking brake on.
Please remain seated
Whoop.
until we reach our final parking position. On
No.
behalf of Captain CJ, First Officer Captain Canada, and the entire crew, we wish you a wonderful stay in Anchorage.
Wraps up. Brake stowed. Taxi light on. After landing, Air brakes and spoilers are in. Transponder goes to standby. Flaps are up. Radar is off. TMS is off. Air conditioning is set. We've got one pack running. APU air is on. Continuous ignition can come off. Lights are set for taxi. Ground AirPac 725. We're clear at 25 right. Taxi to Charlie 9. Should take us right up Echo.
Alaska Pacific 725, Anchorage ground, taxi to C9er via Echo, Echo 3. Have a good day.
Echo, Echo 3 for AirPac 725. Have a good day. Alright. Release the brake.
Alaska Pacific 725, taxi to parking via Echo, Echo 3. Have a good day.
Echo, Echo 3 to parking. AirPac 725. Good day. Alrighty. Here we are.
Alaska Pacific 725, continue taxi to parking via Echo 3.
Roger, AirPac 725. Here's our boarding, our music in the cabin. Very just flightish. Let's go ahead and remove the...
FedEx 193 request, push and start. Push and start approved.
That's
FedEx
Echo
193.
Echo 3 will be the next right turn. We taxi down this row of freighters.
Anchorage ground Alaska 287. And Charlie ready to taxi to cargo ramp.
Go ahead.
Alaska 287 ready to taxi to the cargo ramp. And we are currently at Charlie. Charlie Kilo Echo, Alaska 287.
Make the right turn here, I think. Yep. Turn 1 and... I think I shut 1 and 4 down. I think it's pretty normal. Which are the generators? Yeah, that's why you shut down those generators.
FedEx 193 ready to taxi.
FedEx 193, taxi to runway 25
Charlie
right
9 is
Tango,
at the very
Romeo Kilo,
right.
cross runway 25 right, then Alpha.
25 right via Tango, Romeo Kilo, cross runway 25 right, then Alpha FedEx 193.
Alright, 1 and 4 are shut down. Here's Charlie 9. At Alaska. Followed in. I like this Anchorage scenery. You can see the seaplanes across the street. There's a big seaplane base and a gravel runway over there. And yeah, you have to cross that road in your plane if you're taxiing over there if you land at the big airport. Come on. Come on, 2 engines.
Hey, Anchorage ground, Postman 219er, we missed the turn for runway 7 left. Roger, maybe we'll hold 0.7 right.
Parking brake is set. APU power is established. I got air. Let's shut down the other two. Seatbelt signs off. We'll go to the airplane view. Aircraft. They've already started that. We'll do this. We'll do that. Forward cargo, aft cargo. And what else am I missing? Off. We'll leave the AP running. Bus ties. We can shut off the galley. Ignition's off. Engine anti-ice is off. Turn on the entry light. Logo's off. No smoking sign will remain on. Beacon's off. Nav lights remain on. And I think that'll do it. Let's do the shutdown checklist, please. Parking brake is set. Pressure is checked. Hydraulics are off. Fuel panel is set. Gens 1 and 4 are off. Engine anti-ice is on. Oh. I didn't do that. Thrust levers, fuel off. Seatbelt sign is off. Exterior lights are set. Heaters, ice detect off. Oh, yeah. Gotta turn off all the ice detect. Air conditioning is set. Beacon is off. Arrival time is noted. Alright. All that's left is the leaving the aircraft checklist. How was that? That was fun. I loved it. Love flying in Alaska. It's a fun airplane. And again, I apologize for my not knowing it. It's within the last couple of months, I've only done one training flight and a quick flight down to Kodiak, and then this one. So I hope I didn't represent it too badly. But yeah, love it. Just Flight. BAE 146-100, AirPac livery. I'm CJ. I'm your classic jet sim pilot. In the meantime, keep the sunny, what am I saying? Keep the shiny side up. We'll see you next time.
Request taxi via Charlie, Kilo, Romeo, and Sierra to stand 115.
Everest 80 Romeo, taxi to stand 115 via Charlie.